Hello guys, Colonel Ninny here. What fascinates me is our interest in watching kill shots. I suppose it goes back to the Roman gladiatorial times when the crowd would be pleased to see the final blow, the coup de grace, the end of game. Nowadays, that same exhilaration and satisfaction would come from us watching our favorite sports teams score a try or a goal or a touchdown. And in this sport, there's nothing wrong with watching a superior player dispatch an inferior player. Anybody can pull the trigger and spray the sky, but the real challenge is maneuvering into a position so you can pull the trigger. If you want to excel in this game, watch how the player gets into the position so he can take the shot. I am skilled enough to be able to fly without turning the icons on because I'm able to identify the aircraft. To help you identify friend from foe, I turn the icons on and off. I cover aircraft identification techniques in a couple of my other videos. Approaching this bomber straight on without any zigzagging is very dangerous. Approaching from behind, I'm a relatively slow-moving target, and one or both gunners would find me an easy target. I've been chasing this guy for a while. He's done some very good evasive maneuvers, but the longer I am behind him, the more I stand chance of being attacked myself. A much better tactic than chasing him around all over the sky and exposing myself to danger is to fire at him and then climb away and come back again with a better energy advantage. Here I approached too fast and wasted my energy on the outside of his turn. And here's a different tactic, diving down low to get underneath him, to confuse the gunners. Time to climb up again and regain the energy advantage and reevaluate. Trailing fuel or smoke, he's easy to find, so if there are fighters around, I would climb up high, make sure that I'm safe, and then come back in again. I always try to aim my fire at the engines, and if that's not possible, you'll notice my technique is to try to rake the fire from one wingtip all the way across to the other wingtip. We should never be involved in these free-for-all furball dogfights. The main reason is that you're at the same energy state as everyone else. This means you have no energy advantage over your opponent. If you find yourself in this situation, you need to climb away if possible and come back at a higher altitude and reevaluate the situation. Otherwise, you should dive down very fast, get away from the furball, then climb back up and come back and pick a target. This ensures that you have the energy advantage and can swoop down and take out your opponent and then use that energy to climb back up to safety. In this attack, I'm able to open fire at long range and still able to have a second burst at short range to dispatch both aircraft. Here I have a slight energy advantage, but I'm going to go on the inside of his turn and cut him off. He's making the mistake of holding his angle of bank, so I can then anticipate where he will be and shoot into that position. He's on fire, so he's either dead or he's going to bail out. And the tables can turn rapidly. Here I failed to notice my opponent with a high energy advantage coming up from below. This left me no time to make effective evasive maneuvers. I chose to let the aircraft fall into an inverted spin, which would give the impression that I was perhaps dead at the controls. Without icons, the other pilot wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And this technique worked. I was able to recover at low level and escape. In surveying the damage, it pretty much looked like there was more holes than aluminum holding things together. Structurally, with any harsh control inputs, this aircraft could literally blow apart. So what's important now is simply flying the aircraft to get it home to the airfield. And as I come into land, you must remember that the slow flight characteristics, that's the conditions leading up to a stall, are going to be aggravated because of the damage, and I stand a much greater chance of crashing and burning on the runway. And yes, I do have a couple of tutorials on understanding slow flight and the approach to the stall. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. Haha. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Obviously not my day to buy a lottery ticket. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please like it or subscribe. Or if there's another topic you'd like me to cover, please